Hi, Pilates friends. I wanted to share with you an advanced exercise that can easily be modified for the beginner Pilates student. It's called the side plank or the side bend. It's advantageous for a variety of reasons to almost every body to do this, at least in the modified positions, because it spares the spine of repetitive flexion and stress and teaches us to stabilize the spine, which is particularly valuable for those who might have osteopenia or osteoporosis. I often hear from my clients that they find even the modifications difficult. So I wanted to share with you a couple of adjustments that you can make to work from the most beginner level to a more advanced level of side planks. We did some of these on Monday, but this is a nice opportunity to break it down a little bit more. So the next time I add this to our repertoire, you'll be more prepared and able to adjust according to your body. So the first level would be sideline. Make a fist, place your forearm into the mat, and stack your knees around 90, a little less than 90 degrees at the hips. My elbow and my heels are in the center of the mat and aligned with each other. I can create stronger stabilization through my mid-back by energizing, drawing my elbow towards my heels and my heels towards my elbow. So it's like you're hugging the midline with the center of the body. And honestly, if this is all you do, there's still benefit there. I feel my lats engage, I feel my obliques kick in, and I feel a bit of hamstring posterior engagement. So many of us have shoulder issues. I know some of my clients have rotator cuff repairs, they've had shoulder replacements, a variety of issues in which we need to build stability here, but we don't need to have a lot of excess weight. This weight bearing is enough to make this 360-degree support holding of my shoulder girdle. If I want to add to this by drawing elbow to ankles and ankles to elbow, I can lift up my pelvis. So I've transferred my weight more over my stabilizing shoulder and then lower it back down. Repeating that a few times, drawing in, lengthening. The other challenge here is finding that diagonal from your head to the tail. The body kind of wants to correct itself vertically, but if I can reach through the crown of my head here, I have a little bit more length and a little better alignment, and then lower down. Try that one more time. Drag the elbow to the heels to the elbow, feel that side body charge up, and then lower everything back down. The second level you could explore here would be with your front leg or your top leg in front of the bottom leg. And this actually is probably even a little bit more modified, a little easier than with the knees stacked. So this might be your best place to start from. Always change that position of the arm and elbow. There's not a perfect place for it to be. So you have to experiment with it a little bit. And as I lift up, I'm still leaving my knees down and lower. And lift, knees stay down, pelvis lifts. And down one more time, drawing into the midline. Claire's bony fingers. Remember that prompt where Joe Pilates' wife would walk around, she'd place her fingertips to the tip-top skull and encourage people to lengthen into those fingers and then lower it all back down. That's a little bit of work. I'm going to switch sides here just to balance it off a bit. So from the front leg forward, elbow aligned with that back heel, drawing in towards the midline, and first just floating the pelvis up. That's a good place to go. If I want to grow this a little bit more, top leg, as I press up through the bottom leg, I could reach that top leg long. We did this in Monday's class. So now I'm working the lateral hip a little bit. Those glutes are kicking in. I'm still thinking of reaching, and maybe I want to take my hand over just to feel that length from head to toes, and then lower it back down. Try that modification again. Pressing up, using the lateral glutes, reaching long, fingers to toes, and lower back down. We add to the side plank what's considered to be lateral flexion or a little bit of spinal articulation. So I find my diagonal and then lifting the hips, the head goes low, lowering the hips, the head comes up a bit. So it's a bit of a seesaw effect of up and down through the ends of the body that adds a little bit more work into that side plank, and then take a little rest. So the third method or modification would be, again, line up your forearm, elbow with your heels, and instead of keeping the knees down, I'm going to lift the knees up as well and work towards a straight line with my lower body. So drawing into the midline, hand could be in front of you to assist, lift up and shoot those legs long and lower it back down. And again, straightening the knees, reaching, maybe hand to thigh here, maybe hand overhead. Perhaps you add a little bit of hip lifts and hips drop. Hips lift and hips drop, and rest it back down. It's a challenge for me, which is why I wanted to introduce this to you in smaller segments outside of our regular class. So let's look at the third one, more common in the classical advanced series. Again, you could start with your knees bent. Joseph Pilates started with his legs long and pretty much picked up entirely from there. But I like coming to this bent knee position, pelvis is down, adjust that arm as you need to, still hug to the midline as you shoot yourself up into that side plank, and then lower it, bending the knees back down, and lift up, reach long, and lower it down. One more time, adding that bit of lateral flexion, lifting up, lift the hips, and lower the hips, and lift, and lower, and lift, and lower, and return back down. So that's just a small excerpt of your side plank positions, some modifications, all great for strengthening your hips, strengthening the internal and external obliques, as well as strengthening your shoulder. We don't do 100 reps of these. You'll find 2 or 3 might be enough. And over time, you build up the strength to advance the position of your body from the forearm with your knees down, pelvis lifting, into the straight arm, legs reaching, and the full expression of that side plank. It feels great to the body, and it's something that we tend to miss during our usual exercise program. This side plank and the frontal plane is just something we have to deliberately add to our regimen. So I hope you can practice through the weekend. I'll see you on Monday with our magic circles for a beginner intermediate magic circle practice. Thanks so much for tuning in.